The Land Raider Crusader is a variant of the Land Raider tank brought about in only M39, making it one of the youngest tanks used by the Space Marines, supplanted only by the Primaris tanks, of course. It was invented by the Black Templars, specifically as a close shock vehicle, enhancing the sort of usage as an assault vehicle that the Land Raider is known for. Hello everybody, my name is Spoons Rattling, and today we're covering the Land Raider Crusader. And the Land Raider Crusader is pretty similar to the Land Raider, unsurprisingly. Comes in at 220 points, movement 10, toughness 12, a 2+ save, 16 wounds, leadership 6+, and OC 5. This is of course the same as a Land Raider, but for about 9% cheaper, and is also very solid. As a stat line, it's fast enough, it's pretty dang tough, all things considered. Really enjoying the toughness 12, making it much more resilient to las cannons than a lot of other vehicles are, and of course the 2+ save is always good, especially with Armor of Contempt. In terms of ranged weapons, it's almost exactly the same as the Land Raider, spare its front-mounted turret and its sponsons. It of course can take a multi-melta, which is melted 2, 18-inch range, 2 attacks, hit on 3s at strength 9, AP 4, and damage D6. Of course, a nice bit of anti-armor punch, sting in the tail, given the other weapons on this are more focused on anti-infantry. It can of course take a hunter-killer missile, the most inaccurate thing in the game. Just one shot that hits on 2s at strength 14, AP 3, damage D6+1, which, while it always feels unreliable, is a nice extra piece of anti-armor for this thing's first tango with a vehicle, which does help because its sponsons are Hurricane Bolters. The Hurricane Bolters are of course twin and rapid fire 6 at 24-inch range, 6 attacks, hit on 3s at strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. This is a really good profile for clearing out things like Imperial Guard or Eldar or Sisters. This is of course really solid, the twin helps a lot and even helps it punch up a little bit. On the front we have a twin assault cannon, one of my favorite weapons in the entirety of 40k, which is devastating wounds, twin linked, 6 attacks, hit on 3s, 36-inch range at strength 6, AP 0, and damage 1. Of course this is very solid and is useful for chipping wounds off of anything and just adds into more of that anti-infantry firepower up close. In terms of melee weapons, I'm not really sure what you want me to say. I've said it once, I'll say it a million times. 6 attacks, hits on 4, strength 8, AP 0, damage 1. Very bad in melee. Don't charge this thing. Let the things in its cargo bay charge. And speaking of, it has the same ability as the normal Land Raider, which is Assault Ramp. Each time a unit disembarks from this vehicle after it is moved, that unit is still able to charge, which is very useful, and means this thing is far better with assault troops than it is with ranged troops, so things like Terminators, or even Inner Circle Companions, which does help, as the transport capacity of this is upgraded all the way to 16 infantry. Jump pack and term models, of course, take 2, and Centurions take up 3 slots, so you can't fit any more Centurions in, really. Though you can fit a lot more other things in here. You can fit up to 8 Terminators, of course, and you can fit 16 normal infantry, which isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do, but it does open up some possibilities, which I think actually really do make the Land Raider Crusader quite an interesting unit, aside from just how cheap it is for how tough it is. It is the budget premium transport, which is a slot that not a lot of armies have. You know, the orcs have their trucks and the battle wagons, and a lot of them sort of follow that trend. You know, you have your cheap transport and you have your premium transport. This is somewhere in between the two, of course. Its weapons, while mainly slanted toward anti-infantry, do have those twin-linked, and the assault cannon has devastating wounds, which helps it punch just a little bit. It'll stack saves on most targets, at least a couple. But its main use is, of course, against hordes, which can be useful to clear out chaff, whether it be Imperial Guard or Gretchen, to let your big melee troops, whether they be Deathwing Knights or Inner Circle Companions, get into melee quickly. You will want to bring something like Inner Circle Companions or Deathwing Knights because you'll probably want something that can tango with armor pretty well, and both of those units do have the capabilities to do so, especially in Inner Circle or in Gladius Task Force. So they can jump out, clear out the infantry with this thing, and then have these things charge into the more high-valuable targets. As I already mentioned, it's going to stack saves quite a lot, and since it has 16 slots, you can do something the original Land Raider can't. You could, in theory, field 2 6-man squads, whether they be Blade Guard, Inner Circle Companions, or similar. Along with characters, you could have 2 squads of those, so you could have, say, 6 with a chaplain and 6 with a captain, or maybe just a duplicate unit, jumping out of this thing to do a lot of damage when they get up close. My general opinion is that if you have anti-tank covered, whether it be through a Lancer or something similar, or whatever's inside the tank even, this thing is honestly probably the best Land Raider to bring, just because it's so good against light infantry, and you can offload the anti-armor elsewhere. Anyways, I've been Spoons Rattling. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.